this thing on? All right, check. Test. All right, good evening, everybody. This is Caleb Vincent, Mayor of Greenville. Thank you for joining our virtual town hall this evening. It is Tuesday, March 25th, 2021. As you all know, we're here today to discuss some financial situations with the town. It's been a big issue for the past year, really for the past 2 years, that we've been not reaching our goals as far as like GDP wise in the city. Nobody's paying taxes anymore. I don't know why you guys aren't paying taxes. I know you're making money, but there's just, there's some loopholes that you guys have figured out. We'll get to that in another week. But basically, the moral of this town hall meeting is that nobody in the government is making any money. And so we're here to fix that. So we've had some discussions. We're also asking you, there'll be a Q&A session at the end. So if you guys want to go ahead and give us some suggestions, we'll take that. But I basically wanted to fill you guys in, all 27 of you, on some things that we're thinking of to kind of get the money rolling back into the government here of Greenville. So we're thinking, we had really good ideas from some of our top partners that we've been working with. We've had one of the ideas that we did was a lottery. And so we would have everybody pay into a lottery, and then we would pay out the winner's money to the government. Now, there was some backlash because the people who would be paying into the lottery wouldn't be getting the money as like the payout. I can see where you're coming from. I'd understand if you join a lottery, you kind of want to have a chance to win. But realistically speaking, there's a greater chance of you getting struck by lightning than winning the lottery. And so we kind of just figured you might as well just give us the money. So we did think about that. That was really hot. It was one of the top on our board, top ideas on our board. But, there was some legal things that we didn't want to, primarily like the currency. You guys don't actually know what currency we use, so we didn't really want to divulge that to you guys. So, we'll get to that maybe another time. Another idea that we talked about was kind of this neighborhood watch where people would go around and collect money as if they were homeless. We almost got there. It just was a little bit hard to convince the people that they were homeless, because they're part of neighborhood watch. So there was a little bit of contradiction there, but we'll get to that as well. Really good ideas brought up by some of our partners. But I do think the one that really stuck out to me, the one that I'm thinking we're probably going to go ahead with, is we're going to do sponsored crime calls, and we're going to be working with the police force with that. And so kind of just wanted to bring you guys here today to let you know about this idea that we're basically putting into practice. It's already being signed for as we speak. So it kind of, realistically speaking, you guys don't have a say on if this is going in or not. Like, it's already going into effect. But I just wanted to let you guys know before it actually went into effect, that this is going into effect. So yeah, we'll have a Q&A session at the end. But basically, what we're working with here is we have the dispatch for Greenville Police Department, GPD, and basically we're going to be working with companies to help sponsor crime calls. So what that's going to look like is we're going to have companies like Frosted Flakes, Kellogg's, General Mills, Johnson & Johnson. We're really just going to take the advertising world and bring it to the police force. So what that, to get to the point, basically, whenever there's a call for a murder or like a crime, they will be sponsored by companies. And so the way that will happen is if we're on a dispatch call and you're a police officer and you get a call for murder, it basically would go something along the lines of, we got a code 4 down the street, Redville, and it's sponsored by Frosted Flakes, and that would be it. And then getting pulled over by a police officer, typically the first thing you hear from a cop is license and registration. what you would, what you might hear in the future with this new partnership is, license registration, take a break. Here's a Kit Kat, like just something like that, really, to just bring the advertisements to the people. So we agree that this is really what we want to do, and we kind of just want to get your opinion on it. So just if you have any comments or something like that, you feel free to let us know.
I have a question. Is
Yeah,
there?
you sir in the back. Yeah, go
Yeah,
ahead.
yeah, I'm right here. Is
Yeah.
there a restriction on what will be advertised? Like you were saying, if someone were to be pulled over, is there kind of a understanding of the situation? Like, just say if there was a DUI situation,
Hmm.
would the cop look at them and go, "Have a Bud Light"?
It's a sticky situation with that one, because we don't actually control the ads and where they're placed. So it may happen that a DUI arrest would be sponsored by an alcohol beverage.
All right, that
Yeah.
doesn't seem like the safest thing to do. It's kind of condoning uh, the
Well, not
crime.
really, because these companies sell alcohol in a contained, like either can or bottle that's not open, and really a DUI is arresting somebody who's driving under the influence, not driving with the influence next to it in a sealed bottle. So, um,
But you would be condoning a police officer handing an alcoholic beverage to somebody who is currently drunk.
well, no, it's more of just like if somebody was getting arrested for a DUI and it happened to be sponsored by, let's say, Coors Light, for example. The person would never get the chance to drink the Coors Light. They would go straight into the back of the
Mm,
police car, where there would be a 24 case of
okay.
Coors Light right next to it. Yeah.
So what if it was like a Smirnoff Ice? Would they be obligated to uh, chug the Smirnoff Ice? Because they would be iced at that point. So
Well, yeah. I mean,
the
that
cop
would
would
be
do it
for.
with
We
them?
would probably have a little bit of restrictions on that. So we wouldn't ask you to chug it. It would more just be like a taste test. Have you ever been to
Okay.
like the Taste of Danforth? It's like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, if you've ever been there, sometimes they'll give out taste testing for alcohol beverages that have sponsored the event. It's kind of the
Mhm.
same thing with the arrest, right? If let's say for example Smirnoff has sponsored the arrest of a DUI, they may want the person to take a couple sips, but not chug. We won't put anything
Mhm.
harmful inside of the person getting arrested, and it's more or less just to get their samples out there for people to really see if they like it or not. And we think that it's pretty convenient to have a police officer give it to you because, it kind of gives you a reason to taste it,
Mhm.
even if
By
something
force.
you.
By you would be forced.
Yeah, yeah. Well, when you're being detained by a police officer, you have to listen to everything they say, right? So we kind of wanted to match the two and put them together, and we think it's really
Mhm.
effective, of an
Yeah.
effective way of getting product out to
So
potential clients, potential
so when they
customers.
read you your Miranda rights, that would be sponsored as well, like midway. You have the right to refuse, the right to remain
No,
silent
well, before
on
no,
behalf of
before they would
Charlotte.
say you're right. It would be before. So the Miranda rights are actually going to be sponsored by a specific monthly basis.
Okay.
Um, so before they would say you have the right to remain silent, it'd be like closed captioning is brought to you in part by Dove body wash, and they
Yeah.
would then read you your Miranda rights. But again, that would be something that we would do on a monthly, and that would be the same ad playing over and over and over again, kind of like Modelo with the UFC. It would be more attached, like I know that my Miranda rights are always sponsored by Dove,
Hmm.
and that'll be on a monthly basis. But the thing that we're mainly talking about, like arrests and transponder calls and all that stuff, that would be more of a randomized. So that it kind of would just be a list that they would look through, and whatever's next on the list, that's that they would sponsor by. So, like I said, it's not always going to be an alcoholic drink that's sponsoring a DUI. It could happen. Again, we don't control what the list is. Although we are the ones that print the list and create the list and write out the list, we don't actually control the list. The list is given to us.
Given to you by who?
The secretary who writes the list. So
Okay.
yeah.
Um, w- so the secretary, what are their kind of like, what do they search for in
Right.
an
So
advertisement? What do they
great
like?
question. Right. So the basically what they do is they receive calls from these companies, and then however much money they're willing to spend, they'll write their names, doubles, triples. It's really just an Excel sheet, and they will just copy and paste the amount of they will copy and paste the company over and over again, depending on how much money they pay us.
So this isn't
So
like this has nothing to do with morals. It's just about money.
well, yeah, I mean that's the whole reason why we're here today, right? We're just trying to figure out a way for the city to make more money because you guys aren't paying your taxes anymore.
Hmm.
Although there is kind of like, I understand that we made taxes voluntary, but I still thought you guys were gonna do it. I don't understand where that came. I thought you guys liked us. Um, so although it was made voluntary, we didn't expect to have such a drop off in taxes. Um, so we anyway, we're
So it's kind of
implementing
a
this just to
punishment.
kind of. Well, it's not
You would
really a
say that.
punishment. It's not really a punishment. It's more of a diversion. We don't really
Yeah.
want to make you pay your taxes again, because that's just too much work for us. I mean, like how many hours I was sitting in the back trying to get that stuff figured
Mhm.
out. I just didn't really want to do it, and then so we made that's why we made it voluntary, and then and this is more easy for me because
Yeah.
I don't
It's just
have to
money
do
for you.
anything, and I just see
Yeah.
them. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So you
Yeah.
don't think this is going to be a hindrance to the police force or to emergency calls? Really, like if there's an emergency, someone could die before the sponsorship ends, like the actual script that they're given.
Well, I mean,
Kind of.
we've maxed out 911 call sponsor ads to 15 seconds. So it'll be
That's
like
quite a lot
911,
of
what's your
time, you don't
emergency?
think?
Well, it would be like, like a 15-second ad. Like,
So
you'd be like, 911, what's your
if I get
emergency? And it'd be
shot,
like the
yeah.
all new Ford F-150, starting price at,
Uh-huh.
$51,000.
Please hold.
It wouldn't be something super long. They'd probably tell you the mileage and
Yeah. Would
lease
there be an option
payments.
to
But
skip? Like if I was
no.
shot or stabbed or something, and
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
breathing for life, kind of just choking on my own blood, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
listening to the new leather
Right.
seats or the energy saving kind of new Ford, um, how would
Yeah.
that help me? Or would someone even be there to help me?
Well, we would have to wait for you to tell us what's wrong before we could dispatch anybody.
I
So.
understand, but I can't really even tell you because I'm listening to a 15-second ad.
Right. Well, see, we would do the same thing that any other police force would do, or any emergency services in any other city. I mean, if you don't respond to 911, we would trace your phone number, and then we would actually charge that phone number in the e-transfer payment. And the way that would work is because we paid for an advertisement, or sorry, the company who's paid for an advertisement, nobody was there to listen to it. So actually, it would be null and void, and we would actually have to charge the person for that advertisement that was not listened to.
That's so if Ford paid just say $1 million for that ad,
Yeah,
um,
yeah,
and I
yeah.
died during the ad, um,
Hmm.
I my estate would be charged $1 million.
Well, the advertisements are not $1 million. They're more in the range of like 5 to 10,000 for a
Oh, so
call.
you guys are
So
lowballing the city.
well, we get an average of 37 911 calls a day. So if you put those all together, you've got about $370,000. So roughly anywhere from 300. It could be half.
Hmm.
If we give them the
Yeah, how
10
many of those
second
people
ads.
survive out of those 37? How many people are still alive? Would you say on average?
After a 911 call, typically speaking, if let's say there's 37 in a day, we are able to charge all 37.
Charge them?
Yes. Yes. We can
So
charge them
everyone gets
all.
charged?
Yeah, yeah, because none of them actually listen to the ad.
And why don't they listen?
Why? I can't give you the specific reason. All I know is that they don't respond and they don't actually, they don't acknowledge that they've listened to the ad, which basically is a wasted ad at that point, and so that's when we would charge the upfront costs. Yeah. Like for example, like 2 days ago we had 42 911 calls and about 35 of them were charged.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Okay. Who paid for that, like, specifically?
Well, the phone number was charged, which is connected to your bank account, because most people have
You
online
just take
banking.
it. There's no kind of.
Well, I
warning.
mean, it's part of the terms of agreements. We've actually sent out an update to all online banking apps, and when you click "I agree," it means that you've connected your phone number to the emergency services line, specifically the billing, and we can bill you. But again, it to me it doesn't seem like I'm doing much to that person, because realistically speaking, the money that gets taken out of their bank account really just goes back into the community. So really, they're not really losing any money.
Okay, but they're possibly losing their lives by listening to ads.
Well,
Isn't
I mean,
kinda
that wasn't, like, there's nothing that a 911 call can really do for somebody who's dying, like, if you're going to die, you're going to die.
Was that an Ivan Drago quote? If he dies, he
I was
dies.
not. That's
As the mayor of this town, are you saying that about your people? If they die, they die.
well, no, I'm just saying the
Sponsored by
efficacy
Kellogg?
rate of a 911 call in this city is extremely low. So I just don't think that it makes a huge difference to charge somebody.
So I think what you're getting at is that you just want to charge dead people. You kind of want to. You're saying that their bank
Well,
account.
no, not at all. We'd actually prefer people to listen to the ads. It's just if you don't, we have no option but to charge you for it. We get
think
the
you
same
do.
amount of money regardless. So you have to understand, sir. I didn't catch your name, but I don't really care at this point. What I will say is that no matter what happens, we will get paid.
Okay.
It doesn't matter if you pay or if the company pays. It does not matter. We will get paid. So I don't. So to say something as awful as we want people to die because it gets us an e-transfer of $5,000 to $10,000, it's just obnoxious, because we will get a payment from Ford or whichever company is Toshiba, whatever company it is, we will get that payment eventually. So I think it's a little bit disrespectful to say that we're trying to get people to die when in reality, we couldn't care less if somebody was alive or dead.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I don't think you care. First off, though, my name is Greg Stewarski. I'm a proud member of this committee. I'm talking on behalf of the rest of the town. And it's kind of dangerous, just the ads you're playing, and there's not really a real process here, I'm hearing, and that there's just some secretary who is kind of being bribed multiple times over to play these specific ads. Don't you think that if there was kind of a situation where you needed to be quiet, just say, like we'll just throw out case studies here, where just say there's a kidnapping or a home invasion, and someone's hiding in the closet, they call 911, and the Maxwell House advertisement starts playing, just screaming full blast on their phone. Our
Right.
house in the middle of the street, just absolutely blaring. And what do you expect that person to do for the next 12 seconds while the person who is trying to murder them is walking up those stairs?
Well, preferably speaking, if there are two people in the room, it actually maximizes reach for the advertisement. So we'd actually encourage people to have as many people in the room as possible.
So you're encouraging crimes to sell Maxwell House
That's
coffee.
not what I'm saying.
That's exactly what you just
No,
said.
no. No,
You're saying,
I'm not
saying
encouraging
you would
crime.
rather that person.
I'm
made the phone
encouraging.
call.
I'm encouraging group effort is what I'm
Okay.
encouraging.
with a murderer
Mhm.
and someone who's trying to save
Well,
their
I
life.
mean, it does not matter the crime.
Hmm.
The more people involved is what we want.
Yeah. Okay, what
Hmm.
if just say there's a suicide attempt, right? And they someone at the bottom, someone's on the top of the roof, they're about to jump. Someone at the bottom is like, "Hey, don't do this. Let's put 911 on speaker." Someone, can actually talk to them before they get there. And they
Hmm.
call 911, they have the
I
megaphone, they put
actually,
it
it's
here.
good that you
And
brought
there's
that up
wait, wait, I'm
because.
not done. There's a Nike ad that
Hmm.
blasts through the megaphone and all you hear is just do it. And that would be on the police force. So by the time they get there, they would be like, "What happened here?" And they would say, "The phone told him to do it."
Hmm. Right. So it's actually interesting that you bring this up.
Uh-huh.
We've been working on targeted ads depending on the situation.
So by the time the police get there, they would kind of just go up to everybody, be like, "Hey, are you doing okay? Just so you know, this event is sponsored by Nike."
Yeah, we would give them a full year of 20% off at the
Mhm.
specific location that was
Yeah.
sponsoring that event.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what if the event was
Hmm.
just say a memorial for of course, the infamous killer, the cannibal in this town, who ate
Hmm.
8 people in a
I've
span
actually
of
met
four
that guy.
days.
He's a pretty chill guy.
Oh, you like him? You enjoy his company? That explains a lot. So what if I just say it's the 20-year memorial? We're all hanging out. It's a party. Somebody calls 911 because there's a kind of a copycat killer, and the advertisement we get is Subway, and it just says "Eat Fresh." And it's
Hmm.
just on repeat on everybody's phone. It's just 17 phones
Right.
going off at once, and it all says "Eat Fresh." It's kind of biblical, wouldn't you say?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, you enjoy
Oh,
that? Would
you
you?
asking my opinion? You asking
Yeah.
what my
What?
opinion is?
Yeah. What would you do if you were in that scenario?
Oh, well, we would probably just wait and see if there was enough people to listen to the ad to see how much to charge the company. I mean, realistically, in a situation like that, it's more about reach than it is about quality of advertisement because, you know, you could say eat fresh, but at the end of the day, if people are hungry, they're not going to eat fresh. They're just going to eat whatever's in front of them. So the ad itself does not really speak to the crowd that's there. However, if you can get 20 to 30 people listening to an ad from Subway, we would actually be able to charge them a higher percentage on their initial cost. So it would actually work out better for us that memorials would have copycat killers, just so we could have more people there. We're all about reach. That's why we encourage, illegal immigration because typically speaking, when you get pulled over by um, like an ICE agent, right? We have ICE agents in the city of Greenville, and so when we tell people to come on trucks, right? Big truckloads of illegal immigrants. When they get pulled over, they all have to hear the advertisement. So it really works out for us because we have the video proof. Everybody has body cams. All police officers have body cams, and um, we can actually see how many people listen to the ad and charge them a specific fee for that. So it actually works in our benefit to have memorials, parties, wherever the maximum uh, audience target reach can be. That's where we really where we want to
Sir,
prioritize.
it sounds like you're inducing crime, like you're actually a fan of it, or saying, are you saying that this town would benefit from the crime rate increasing tenfold? That's what I'm getting from this right now. Kind of you're
Well,
doing a
I would
365
say that
bird situation.
what I would say is that the town benefits from my wealth.
How exactly? How would the town?
Um, the more money, yeah. So the more money that I make, the more the town has to brag about.
Oh, brag about? This is bragging rights? Who are we bragging to?
Not for me, for you.
Yeah, who would I be bragging to about your wealth?
Somebody who lives in another city.
Sir, after this, we're going to have to close the borders. They're going to build a wall around us.
I don't think so. I think companies are really going to enjoy working with us. I think we're going to have a bright future. I think really what's going to happen is people are going to start seeing more money go into their pockets, and then
It's going to
taken
go into your
out as
pockets.
soon as they call 911.
So you're kind of just disregarding the health system and emergency services, making it to a point where literally no one can
Oh,
call.
no, quite the no, no. That is absolutely not what we're doing. We're enforcing 911 and emergency services. We want people to call 911.
I know you want, but I don't think anybody will or would want to.
Well, how are they going to survive?
That's what I'm saying. I think people would just end up kind of dying on their own, rather than listen to an ad and possibly lose all their money.
See, I don't agree with that. I think that more
Okay.
people would be inclined to listen to the ad thinking that they
hmm
would give them a chance to stay alive.
Yeah. Can I ask you? Have you actually asked any citizen about this new thing? Maybe a focus group, a survey, that you guys have
Yeah, well, we
conducted?
tried to. I haven't lived in this city for over 2 years, so I don't really know what's going on. Um, yeah.
Okay. So what are you basing this on? Where did you live before? How was that situation kind of?
Well, no, I used to live in this city, but then I moved to another city, and I just realized that the rent payments were a little bit too high, so I just needed to figure out something that could really help me out here. Like I said,
hmm
you guys didn't stop paying taxes, so it's like,
hmm And how was that other
yeah.
city like? Like, what was that like for you or
But
for
the
the
other city
city?
that I live in right now,
Yeah.
oh, it's great. It's great. It's just a little too expensive. I mean, there's
hmm
low crime. There's education rates are at all-time high. People are extremely healthy here.
Uh-huh.
You go out biking. It's great. It's really good. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
why don't we implement ideas that they're using? Do they do this police scanner advertisement kind of thing?
Well, no, in
911
fact,
operator.
people rarely call 911 in this city. In fact, the health is so good here and the crime rate is so low that 911 in this city is actually one of the top, sorry, actually bottom 1% of the United States of America. So,
So why don't we do kind of what they're doing? Like, what specifically do you think like that we can implement here, besides these advertisements?
see, that's the thing. I really don't know. That's kind of really I wanted to have this virtual meeting because I really don't know what's going on in this city. Again, I haven't lived there in 2 years. I
Uh-huh.
really just started doing this so that I could pay my rent.
hmm So there's a bunch of side deals to help you pay your rent. Have you ever thought about downsizing? You think?
Well, no, I think that's a little bit unnecessary. Yeah, I don't think we need to, jump to extreme conclusions here.
You think
I think
downsizing more extreme than people listening to
let me
advertisement
let me
on
let
their
me tell
deathbed?
you what the problem is. I was living totally fine. Okay,
hmm
I was making my monthly payments. I decided that I didn't want to do the taxes anymore because it was too much work. I was spending at least an hour a day on them. So, what I transitioned to was making taxes voluntary for all the citizens of Greenville. I thought, you know, if it takes me half as much time to do the taxes, that'll be fine. I didn't expect everybody to stop paying taxes. I didn't know that people would do that. I thought people liked paying taxes.
Why would anyone like paying taxes? Usually, if there's an option, we're gonna say no. And you were so nice about it too. You're like, guys, you don't have to pay. Um, but
Yeah,
pretty
but that's
few.
why no, but that's why I was nice about it cuz I thought you guys would still do it like an honor
No.
system. Like I knew some people wouldn't pay it anymore, like the broke people who are basically useless and don't contribute anything to the city. I knew you guys weren't going to do anything. But I thought maybe like the people around you would still pay their taxes because they liked me.
Who likes you? Your approval rate is 0%. I frankly, I don't even know how you got this role. You just moved here, and now you're talking about changing an entire police force. Um, what is going on here? This is ridiculous.
Well, you guys didn't have a mayor.
This is a dictatorship, isn't it? We have no say in this matter. This is truly
No,
all a facade.
like I said, this is already being signed into effect. I just wanted to let you guys know before it was already
So this is a complete
finally
waste of
signed.
time. It's just kind of.
Well,
a
this
warning.
isn't a waste of time. This is more of me telling you what's gonna happen before, so you don't get shocked.
So what
you
if
know, like-
none of us are cool with this? Like, what if there's a revolt?
Well, I didn't. But see, that's the problem that people have is that it doesn't matter what you're cool with.
What would happen if everyone kind of just started protesting tomorrow? What do you think?
Well, who are you gonna protest to?
To the city?
Well, I am the city.
What would you do, sir? What is your plan? Because it
Well, I
seems
don't
like
live-
everybody in this meeting is currently in the chat. Everyone's going off. They're saying 12 a.m. tomorrow, town hall meeting. We're waking everybody up. Somebody says grab your pitchforks and your liverwurst. We're painting the town red. Don't know what that means.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I don't really know what you guys are gonna do. All I know is that I'm gonna be able to pay rent.
Seems like someone put your address in here. And they said, let's go after this meeting and burn it down.
Sorry, can you just let me
324
just see? Can I just see the chat? Actually,
Yeah,
give me
it
1
says,
second here.
Is your address 324 What a Dickhead Crescent? Is that your address, sir?
How the fuck do they know where I live?
I probably would. Do you have anybody home? Maybe. It seems like they're gonna.
Are you?
Yeah, a lot of people are logging off right now. They may have a different chat that they're using.
Okay.
But I'd be worried if I were you.
I'm gonna go ahead and end this meeting.
I would
think
say
that
call
we've-
911, but maybe you would get. Maybe they wouldn't answer right away. I don't know why. Maybe you would have to wait a good 15 seconds and listen to a McDonald's ad telling you, I'm loving it. I'm loving watching my house being burned down alive. That's what I'd love to watch. Now, please, police, come to me. It's too late, though. You know how fast it is to burn down a house? You know how much time you need to burn down a house? Guess. Less than 15 seconds.
Hello?
Less than 15 seconds you need.
Hey, I gotta go.
You just need
thanks for your
it's
time.
less than 15 seconds.
I
Call
appreciate
911, see what
everything.
happens.
Hey, whoa, stop!
Yeah.
Stop!